Yep.
We're back. Well, I got all this technology all over the place, and I got my notes in front of me, but uh, Zoom is over here, so I keep looking at you, and the camera, just takes habit, I guess.
Yeah.
I know the problems of creating content. Well, another week in the books. Exciting stuff, man. See, I keep looking over there. Exciting stuff.
Yeah. A lot of fun, man. A lot of good stuff happening. So,
Had some good conversations this week and uncovering so many opportunities. But well, actually, what a nice lead into collaboration, uncovering lots of opportunities. So I'll start with our weekly review of who we were, because we're not today who we were, we're who we are. And we're constantly evolving, becoming better in the moment who we are. But we did start as an independent brokerage. Wanted to do something very different, very big. I wanted to make sure that our brokerage was one built for and by our agent partners. Ultimately, we believed then that we would get nowhere without them. What we really wanted to do was give them an equal opportunity to what we had. You could, there's many reasons. One certainly would be skin in the game. The other would be opportunity. But we literally sat down with 10 or so agents over the course of a month and designed out a business and financial plan that they were excited about, because it was unlike any opportunity they'd ever had before at any other brokerage. So that's what we rolled with, built the thing up to just north of 30 agents, of course, with a revolving door. The number was always changing. And again, like I said, we had big goals. We wanted to build a national brand, national distribution of what was then just real estate services. But we began to run into challenges. Well, it was kind of a combination of the challenges were there. They didn't just pop up, but we diversified into financial services, and our business partner on that side and the general structure of that business plan and that national distribution partner reminded me of what a truly self-managing team could be like. But the challenges, again, if you're a broker owner, if you're a team leader, these probably resonate with you. Infrastructure cost on the rise now more than ever, to include lead costs, lead plans that you didn't control changed arbitrarily, and you just had to adapt. We've talked about it ad nauseum, the revolving roster door, constant upward pressure on splits, from a lot of different perspectives. We ended up oftentimes training our competition, meaning we put our heart and soul into one of our broker partners, and then they would go to the grass is greener realty and either compete with us from the perspective of being at another firm or even starting their own team or brokerage. And all that, of course, led to shrinking margins, which were no fun. And really, as we got acclimated into the financial agency space again, that self-managing team, we just knew we had to right the ship in that direction. And so we started looking for that partner. We found that partner, merged in with them, and overnight, now had a true opportunity to leverage the network that they had created, the resources that they brought to the table, and we could begin building that national distribution that we ultimately wanted to do. And again, overnight, 98% of our overhead, our risk, and our liability was gone, along with a heck of a lot of stress. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, we were the support staff, we were the management staff, we were the training staff, we were the
recruiters,
support staff, we were the recruiting staff, we were the transaction management staff. Did I say that already? Maybe I did. But it was literally, and you can relate to this, right? If you're running or managing your own business, you're the person that everybody comes to for everything.
Well, and we haven't highlighted it before, but it just came up. And so I don't know if we'll get to it today, but we certainly need to make it the point of a future conversation. All those things went away, and we could talk and maybe that's what we ought to do, is just have a conversation about really how much better it is now under this umbrella with a self-managing team. But the one point I wanted to make was we went from being the two people on our everything staff, but that were responsible for attracting new agent partners, to now every agent on our team is a part of that staff, so to speak. So it's a completely, and I know most of you, with all of those things that you have to do, growing your roster is one of those things that probably gets pushed off and doesn't happen. It's the 20% that you ought to focus on, but the 80% takes up your time. And so it's a challenge for you. But because of the freeing up, and really what we did is we got rid of all the 80% so we could focus on the 20. Now, John, not completely, because he was our managing broker and became the managing broker for the state of Illinois for the team or for the company that we merged into. But that's starting to, that was still not quite as burdensome as being an independent. And now he's also, because of growth, got help. So some of that is his plate's lightening in that direction too. But what it enabled us to do is grow our roster from the 22 agents that came with us to now approaching 80 agents in 8 states. And we'll ultimately be in every state that we want to be in. Don't necessarily have to be in every state because it's available to us, but we'll be in every state that we want to be in. We've been able to increase our closed transactions by 200% because we were able to focus on growing our roster. We can't get any individual agent to produce more. I mean, we got world-class training. It's up to them to take advantage of the resources available to them and increase their sales. We don't control that. What we do control is our activity in growing our roster, which has grown our sales, closed transactions, and consequently revenue. We've been able to leverage the economies of scale. And again, like I mentioned, take advantage of world-class technology. In fact, our leader partners just got recognized by who for the technology innovation?
I think that was Inman.
Okay. Inman just recognized them for the technological innovations that we're bringing and that we now get to take advantage of just because we're here. In addition to the training and the support. I mean, John, I think you mentioned last week, there's literally somebody for everything that needs to be done.
Yeah, it was. And when we were independent, like I said, we had, I think at one time we grew to almost 30 agents on our own. Again, go back and watch that revolving door conversation we had, and you'll see some of the struggles there that we had with getting over that hump. But and we're pushing 150 agents now in the state of Illinois that I oversee as the managing broker, and it's weird, interesting, it's relieving actually right now that I feel like I'm doing less now with 150 agents than I was when we had just about 30 back then, just because again, I was the point of contact for everything. And now there's someone has a transaction question, there's a transactions person. Someone has a payment question, there's a payment person. If someone just needs help or support, we have a person there for help and support. 24/7, right? On demand support. Technology contributes to that, but the human resources that we have at our disposal now are much greater than we had when we were on our own.
Well, and that's also led us, and I mentioned it briefly, but we've diversified. Let's face it, the market is down. I'm not sure I see a point when the market's going to turn around. And it's not even an economy or an economical thing. It's a structural thing. We've now got like 80% of the mortgages out there are less than 5%. 60% of them are less than 3%. Who's going to sell that house to then rebuy and go at 6 or 7%? I mean, it's just the inventory is not going to be there. And I don't foresee that turning around anytime soon. So more time on our hands, looking at the market, looking at our clients and their needs. We saw a huge opportunity to diversify into the financial business and meet more of their needs. Obviously, that increased our revenue opportunities by multiple streams. It's enabling us to better serve our real estate clients with more of their needs, more of the dollars or percentage of dollar that they spend, we can tap into and create a lot more opportunities for us by serving them in a much more broad way. And of course, that's creating more customer loyalty. It will create more repeat business on the real estate side as well, and it will repeat or create more referral opportunities, both as we tap into their audiences and as they just make referrals to us. So, dude, I don't know about you, but my blood pressure's gone way down. My quality of life's gone way up. I couldn't be more thrilled with where we are, who we are, and more importantly, who we're becoming.
Well, my favorite phrase since I've been at Real, and it took, quite frankly, it took 6 to 8 months to get acclimated to the new structures, the new systems, even really stepping away from being the person that wants to do everything and allowing other people to help and support you. But my favorite phrase since we've been at Real is every day I make more and I work less. And it's a fun, exciting, and invigorating journey to be on. It's I always felt just a little, I say just a little, tired at times, right? When we were doing everything all the time. And I'm sure if you're running or managing your own firm, you can relate to having to do everything and hitting that barrier, that wall, that ceiling. And now it just continues to get better and better. What do you say? Like you can't imagine it getting any better, and then somehow, some way, something just happens that makes it that much better for us. And it's a continually evolving journey. And like I said, it's just invigorating. It's exciting with where we're at and the potential that we have really to help people.
Well, like our partner on the financial side, I can see in the not so distant future, because of the partners that we have, and again, we'll get to this here in a moment, but the collaboration that's going on, because of the self-managing structure of the teams that we're building. When you say you make more and work less, I can see that day when we make all that we make to do nothing. And I really think that's probably the American dream, if everybody's honest. Now, I'll never quit working because I love what I do and I love the collaboration and the journey with people and their businesses and their careers and them going through the same uh, growth phases that we've gone through. I just love it. So I'll never quit doing it, but I can see the day when I don't have to if I don't want to.
Yeah. And it's interesting. When I was a little off topic, but when I was like 18, 19 years old, I came from a factory background. And I used to tell everyone that I was going to retire like by the time I was 30. Now I missed that target by a few years, but I think we're really close to Mark's point to getting there. But um
Dude, you don't get to retire.
so look at, and then so here's my definition of retirement. Retirement happens for me when working becomes optional, to your point, where I don't have to sell a house to pay my bills. I don't have to,
Show a house.
show, well, I
You don't do that anymore anyway.
but you get what I mean, right? I don't have to like actively earn my income anymore. And I think there's a lot of power in having that be an option for you and something that you get to you literally like choose to do every single day. There's a lot more power in choosing to be someone that makes a difference or make an impact versus feeling like you have to do it. I think that's where the word like the grind, right, comes from. People feel like they're grinding every day to pay their bills and make things meet. But I think the people that are uberly successful, to your point, are very passionate about what they do, and every day gets to reinvigorate them because they're choosing powerfully every single morning. Like, hey, this is what I get to go do. This is the impact I get to make. This is the difference I can create with what I know and the resources that I have.
Well, and so let's get to our mission and then we'll get to the topic of the day. But our partner on the financial side paid $150,000 a month, has been for 30 plus years, doesn't have to work a day in his life, and yet he's working harder today than he ever has because we're all on a mission. And that mission is to empower more people economically in the way that we are becoming and that he is. And literally anybody. And I'm going to tell you, we're going to get this out of the way up front and then move on. But anybody that's willing to show up, be coachable, and do the work, we're interested in talking to. We are very actively, aggressively looking for additional collaborative partners, again, all over North America. Wherever you are, we have a place for you if the ongoing conversations that John and I are having resonate with you. And that kind of comes in phases. Start by just increasing your standard of living. Then you look at becoming financially independent. Then you look at becoming financially free and having created generational wealth. And imagine a collective or a community of people in that situation. Imagine the financial impact we will have or are having. And so that's simply put, that's our mission. That's what we pursue every day. And I can't imagine ever getting tired of that. A big part of that is collaboration. Brad, I saw something he said recently where, and maybe you can help me with it. I think you saw it too, but it's just amazing. In an industry that, mind you, doesn't have a really good track record for collaboration, has more of a track record of a dog eat dog mentality. Everybody's in competition with everybody else. And in the culture that we're in, that's out the window, number one. Number two, it has in our growth, because you have to grow to get to the next level. You have to become who you need to become to go to the next level. And so, we just keep transforming to get to the next level. We've certainly become very comfortable with the fact that collaboration doesn't have to stop at our quote unquote borders as a firm. That collaboration should and can extend to every conversation and relationship that we have. Now, obviously, it's an empowered position to be in within the community that we're in and the collaboration that goes on there. But so often I think people are afraid of sharing what works for them. And, when I go into a room full of people that are far more successful than I am, but in the place that I want to be, and they're just giving, I don't worry so much about what I have to share because I'm going to get so much more than I'm going to put out there.
Yeah, I saw that reel Brad made, and it definitely hit home because of that like culture environment that we're in. And the way it's funny, when I started in real estate, 10 years ago, I started with Century 21, local office here in our area. And my mentor who brought me into the industry, I remember the first day going through the office, it was like, that person's cool. That person's cool. Oh, don't talk to that person. They don't talk to anybody in the office. Don't ever, that door's closed. When that door's closed, don't knock on it. Whatever, like it was like these people had their tips or tricks or strategies that they felt were one. And it's interesting to me because the more that you learn, and the more that you see, the more synergies you see, and the more you realize that no one's really reinventing the wheel out there. Well, maybe we are, but there's a lot of things that get repeated and reused, and it's really just the uniqueness or the flavor that individual person brings to those specific strategies that makes it really work well for them or something that they don't want to do. And I think that mindset of, if I share something that works well for me, other people are going to steal business from me. Well, for one, it's a lacking mentality, right? And my motto is, it's like how you do anything is how you do everything. So if you have a lack mentality and you bring that to your business, where else does that show up in your life, and how else is that hindering you or hurting like what you're trying to do or the personal relationships that you have? So that's number one. Number two is no one's going to do it exactly the same way you do. So like, even if I told 100 people, like, hey, here's my FSBO process, and this is on you can go on YouTube. My entire FSBO process is there, including the scripts. You just go take it, and hopefully it works for you and you make a lot of money doing it. But if I tell 100 people how to do it, First thing is 90% of them ain't going to do it, right? Right? Or they'll do it maybe once or twice, and then they'll fall off. Um, that's just what what we see in law of large numbers, and uh, people that there's people that will do the work, and people that won't. Um, what is it? Everyone says they want to win, but very few people actually like play to win, right? And actually do what it takes. Um, the other thing is like the 10% that will actually take the action and do it. One, they're probably not in the same market that I am, for the most part, and then two, they're probably not going to do it exactly the same way that I do it. So it'll be their own iteration of that strategy or that technique, which makes it unique to them. But they're also not going to talk to the same people I talk to. I mean, it's mind boggling to me that someone would believe that they have the secret sauce and it only works for them. And if they share it with other people, um, their business is going to diminish in some way or some
Well,
fashion.
particularly now when the market's down, there's fewer deals to get done, and so now you're worried about competing for in a smaller pond, so to speak. But to your point, um, most of the people won't take action. Um, and so even though the pond is smaller, and really it's just about the universe, really, and the energy that you're putting out there. The more you give, the more you get. If everybody took action, we might have a problem, but everybody's not going to take action. So put more out there, you get more back. It's a much better, more content mindset and way of life. I can promise you that. Worrying and looking over your shoulder, and who's competing with me next, who's coming after my clients next. It'll wear you out, and I really think it shows. And you said something about how you do anything is how you do everything. It shows up in all other aspects of your life. Um, and giving is a habit. So giving in this environment professionally means you're likely going to be habitually giving more in other areas of your life, and therefore getting more from those areas of your life. So collaboration has just proven to be, I mean, I think it really is kind of the secret sauce of our culture. And again, that collaboration now it extends nationwide. I mean, I really haven't seen a I mean, it's not, I mean, can't even say this. I was going to say, I haven't even seen a selfish person. I mean, I haven't even seen, when you walk into any room, be it virtual or literal, and the whole vibe is just one of, we're here to succeed collectively. We're on a mission, and we're of like minds, and there's more than enough abundance to go around, understanding all of the variables that go into that. So, um, man, I just can't, whatever your circumstances. I mean, again, we were an independent, felt like most of the time we're on a deserted island. Um, had mentors and coaches over the years, but that's really not, that's kind of a self-serving, not in a selfish way, but it's about me, and it's about my improvement. It's about my growth. Now I could give and share what I was learning and growing, but um, I could walk into the next room, and it again, that doesn't last forever. It doesn't last very long when the culture that you're in is just completely opposite of what we're talking about. So, and we had mentors, but again, they were external and not really contributing to our culture. And now it just permeates again from the top down. And really, there's no top or bottom with a culture like this either. It's like everybody's on the same playing field. Different people have taken different actions. Some people have taken more actions, and so therefore they give more, they take more actions, they get more. But everybody can give equally and take the same actions equally and get the same returns. So that then becomes an individual decision on how much you're going to participate, how much you're going to collaborate.
Yeah, and there's a couple things on that point there. I'd say for one, there's a fantastic book just on that mindset, that philosophy or methodology of being a giver. It's called The Go Giver. Pun intended, I guess, but fantastic book. It'll start to show you the power of giving first, and then how if you give first and if you have that type of mindset, you'll come back. It usually comes back. Excuse me. Usually comes back to you like tenfold. And then we've got there's a collaborative environment that we'll share here probably towards the end. Any independent brokerage owner, if you're watching this or hearing it, you're welcome to plug into that, regardless of where you're at or what company you're with. Doesn't matter. Um, that has been a very it's been a very enlightening experience for me. Can share a little bit more about that when we get to it. And then I'd love to just kind of share a little bit from my experience, and maybe Mark can chime in too, what some of the like actual like physical results have been from just being in this collaborative environment. I would say our growth going from 20 to 80-ish agents has been a huge part of that has been through the collaboration and things that we've learned here and things that we've picked up from people here. Now you can learn all the things in the world. Of course, you got to take action, and we do that, right? And we're not afraid to do that. So we're out there actually implementing things that we learn and pick up from the culture. But I'd say our growth has that has contributed to it here. And for me personally, over the last couple of years, I've doubled my income just being here at Real. I try to make it a habit. I say try. Gotta get rid of that word, man. Yoda, you do or do not, right? So I regularly plug into masterminds, and I love the fact that they have masterminds here. They have classes too. I wasn't a good student, so I'm not a big fan of classes. I like the mastermind because you can actually talk with people and collaborate with people, share ideas like in the moment, and it's an ongoing conversation versus just someone like throwing up information on you. Information is great, but I love the dialogue, right? The back and forth. So, regularly plugging into these masterminds.
Well, I mean, that structure you're going to get more from
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Because you're more involved with it versus someone just throwing it at you. And
sitting there and just listening, taking notes to somebody.
they say like if you wanna truly master something, learn it as if you're wanting to teach it right back to another person, or start to teach the things that you want to become masterful at, and that will literally force you to get in a position where you fully understand it. Because no one wants to look stupid right? Trying to explain something. But I would say our growth is a huge. I would say the collaboration has contributed to our growth in a huge way. Like I said, doubled my income just since I've been here. And what's crazy about that is we're growing at this rate, both as a team and personally, individually, in what's supposed to be a down market. Everyone else is down anywhere from, I think I've heard anywhere from 15 to 40%. And we just continue to expand. And I love the word that you use, Mark, and maybe use it intentionally, or maybe it just fell out because we've had conversations like this before, but continuing transforming our business and taking it to the next level.
Well, that starts with our own transformation.
Mhm.
But to your point in growth, I mean, that's literal. The culture's contributed to that. The collaborating has contributed to that in that sense, but also even our structure. I mean, we've gotten uh, people that have joined our team, but it was a collaborative effort, and so we've shared in the production and revenue that person generates because we've got a system that allows us. What do we call it?
Co-sponsor.
Thank you. It's
Yeah.
co-sponsor, and so we're co-sponsoring agents here in Illinois with, for example, somebody in the Carolinas, and that was a collaborative effort to bring them here. And so it's a collaborative result and return to those of us that collaborate.
Well, in addition to that, we've got a co-sponsor with a guy in Hawaii too. So I mean, there's really no. I love there's no barriers anymore, right? All the walls have been knocked down. There's no borders. There's no barriers. It's an open playing field, and we're all just in it, having the most fun that we can, and really just wanting to see everybody win as big as they can with the
Well, and
resources.
you think about those agent partners that are co-sponsored, they have twice the mentorship. They
Mhm.
have twice the people that have a vested interest in helping them grow and improve. So it's doubly beneficial to them. So, but again, structurally, culturally, collaboration has just become. Again, I think it's the secret. What do you call it? The supercharger to this engine that just continues to grow.
Secret sauce, maybe. I like secret sauce. I don't know. I like sauce.
Yeah,
I'm a food man.
I don't really get what that means. So
I
supercharger
love
means blowing up to me. So,
love to eat, bro. So put some
but
secret.
you were going to talk about your mastermind group.
Yeah. So and then we can I think we've nailed that top down. So we can probably wrap up with this unless you got some
Yep,
stuff to close into.
that's why I'm throwing it back to you.
Yeah, figured. Oh, great minds. Great. So the yeah, and it's interesting. I stumbled across this group on accident. And well, let me take that back. I don't believe in accidents or
You
coincidence.
manifested it.
Right. So, and I literally did because it was probably about a year or so ago. Um, our buddy Tim Winfrey, not Macy, but Tim Winfrey. Me and him had conversations around starting a mastermind group dedicated towards independent brokerage owners because he's an independent, we were independent, and we just know the struggles that we dealt with and the ongoing struggles that independents are dealing with, right? Especially in the market right now. So we're like, hey, dude, it'd be awesome if we created this group. We all share ideas, share resources, we can help each other out. Um, and I just never did it, right? It was an idea that I had, but one day I got an email, hey, come check out our independent broker mastermind group. And I was like, bingo, right? So I plugged into it once, just a few people initially starting out. Started by some lady that's out of Michigan, actually. But we have brokers now from all over the country, Texas, Florida, Carolinas, Michigan, Illinois, um, probably some other places I don't know about yet. But they, the group is continuing to grow. And because here's the biggest thing I think that independents run into when it goes into when they go into like these cloud conversations or quote unquote cloud conversations with people is like it's a no recruit zone. So that's one of the rules there. Like there's no brand promotion. There's no my company's better than your company because of this and blah blah blah. Right? We don't talk about exact details and stuff like that. What we talk about are what are you struggling with? Are other people struggling with it on the call? And or have you overcome that challenge? And then how did you do that? So things like and some of the challenges that we talk about in these calls. So like growing your company as a small independent. How do you go from one agent to five agents, or five agents to 10 agents, or get over the hump? We felt like we were stuck at a certain ceiling, right? Getting over that. What systems are you using to manage and track your business? Accounting, transactions, marketing, whatever it might be. Trying to think of what else. How do you manage your overhead in a market where margins are shrinking? All these things that everyone just seems to struggle with as an independent. We just openly talk about and we share ideas and thought processes around how do we overcome this. I think it's like what was it Albert Einstein said two minds working together are infinitely greater than one mind
Oh,
working alone.
I,
Was it
I, yeah,
Albert Einstein or not? I
you,
seem
I mean, you keep wanting to quote Albert Einstein. I hope you got it right this time.
I hope it is too, man.
Hope that's one from him.
He's a smart dude. I don't. I get my. I have a so in my phone. I'll share this secret. In my phone, I've got probably 500 quotes. So when I hear a good quote, I just put it on my phone, and I've got like a whole note section just filled with quotes. So sometimes I tumble up to names, right? Like who actually said it, but I know somebody said it. Um, it's kind of similar to like the donkey thing. Have you ever heard the donkey thing? Like
I
one
don't know. What is the donkey thing?
So if you hook one donkey up to a cart, they can pull like 4,000 pounds or something. If you hook two donkeys up to the cart, they can pull like 12,000 pounds. So it's like it's that power of coming together, it's that power of masterminding, it's that power of collaboration and using I don't like using leveraging multiple perspectives and people's resources and ideas to have better thought processes, right? And have better outcomes or more powerful outcomes because more people can just bring more resources and again like more perspectives to the same situations.
Do you notice if somebody joins the group that they're probably kind of got to feel it out and they're not all that open right at the beginning, but they gradually open up when they
Yeah,
see the sharing nature of it?
yeah, I've noticed that a few times actually. You know, people get on and they don't turn their camera on. They don't say they stay on mute the whole time. Even if you ask them a question, maybe they just drop it in the chat, right? They don't want to come out.
You know, we need a meme for the equivalent of going to a live meeting and not turning your camera on.
Ooh, that would be like
A brown bag over your head.
I was gonna say mask because I feel like brown bag is a little extreme.
I'm gonna find a brown. I'm gonna make that though.
We'll make that meme. Like, do you show up to your in-person meetings like this?
Right.
Something like that. Yeah. So,
So a couple of things in closing. John shared with you, and again, if any of this is resonating with you, we want to collaborate. I don't know where that's going to go. Right off the bat, John has said, here's a third party group focused on independent brokerages and the challenges you're facing. I mean, let's talk, let's collaborate, and then we can get you hooked up and taking advantage of that. Believe me, if you do, you'll get more from it the more that you give to it. And that abundant, I'm going to put it this way: if you don't have a mindset like that, a scarcity mindset, um, that's probably the first thing I would consult with you on as far as what's holding your business back. And I can almost guarantee your business isn't where you want it to be in that scenario. An abundant mindset changes everything. And so you'll get more from that group the more that you give to it. At the same time, if anything that we've said resonated with you, we'd love to collaborate. We'll help. And I don't know that we're necessarily suggesting we have all the answers, but suddenly two or three minds coming together can think of more solutions than one. We just bring a different perspective. You might have kind of writer's block as far as your business. I can often see something in somebody's business that they don't because I'm not as close to it as they are. And I got a tremendous amount of experience doing so. But at the same time, as we begin those collaborative conversations, we're looking for partners. And so that's a possibility if you really want to let go of some of the headaches and sometimes nightmares and stresses and inhibitors and get to a place where you are free. You are free to work on your business and not in it. You are free to pursue the 20% of the unique things about you that will make the biggest difference in your business. And what's holding you back more than likely is that you don't have time. Your time is taken up by the 80%. And that's where, I mean, you do what you think you need to be doing for a lot of different reasons instead of what you want to be doing. And that is exhausting. It will flat wear you out to do what you think you need to be doing versus what you want to be doing. So reach out. Lots of different ways we've laid out to potentially collaborate. Listen, you reach out to, you're not going to get, we're not going to try and convince you of anything. We've been down that road. We are literally, when I say collaborative partners, if we're not a fit together, doesn't mean we can't collaborate. It just means we may not collaborate together on the shared mission that we have. But and you will know after time and exploration and collaboration whether or not our world is one that you could thrive in or not, or even want to find out whether you could thrive in it. And if you don't, That is all right with us too. We know at our growth rate that there are plenty of people within our audience that think the way that we do. And we don't need those in our environment that don't. And that doesn't make you right or wrong. It just makes us different. And that's okay. We can still find ways to help one another and look forward to those explorations.